All right, let's dive into Cartagena. Got a trip planned. We're going deep on what not to expect. This is more like, insider tips, not your basic travel guide stuff.
Yeah, this is about avoiding the classic tourist traps, like flipping the script.
Exactly. Like, first up, beaches. Everyone pictures beaches, right? But our source is like, hold on.
It's a total misconception.
Yeah.
I mean, there are beaches nearby, like Islas del Rosario, gorgeous beaches. But Cartagena itself, not really a beach town.
So, like, if I want to just, lay on the beach all day, maybe not the spot.
You'd be missing out on the good stuff. Cartagena is about the historic walled city, the architecture, the vibe.
Got it. So, ditch the beach image. What is Cartagena about then? Our source is big on being ready for the heat, like they joke about hot and hotter
Oh
seasons.
yeah, the heat's no joke. You gotta pack light clothes, hats for sure, and water, water, water.
What about hotels? Any tips there?
Definitely go for places with good AC, especially if you're not used to that kind of heat. Worth spending a bit more to be comfortable.
Makes sense. Okay, now food. I'm already hungry just reading this. Pescado frito, coconut rice, patacones.
Pescado frito's a must. And sancocho, the Colombian soup. Amazing. You can get it with fish, chicken, beef.
Yeah, our source was all about the fish sancocho, but get this, they said sometimes it comes with a whole fish in the bowl. That's kind of wild, right?
It is, and it shows how authentic the food is there.
Yeah.
Big flavors, no holding back. If you love seafood, you're in for a treat.
Whole fish sancocho, adding that to the list. Now, getting around, our source seems big on walking.
Absolutely, especially in the walled city in Gethsemane. Walking's the best way to soak it all in.
But for like the airport or going further out,
Taxis are everywhere, but heads up, negotiate the price first. Overcharging tourists is unfortunately kind of a thing.
so gotta brush up on my haggling skills.
It wouldn't hurt. Always agree on the price before you get in, just to be safe.
Good tip. Oh, I gotta mention this funny bit from the source. They talk about the persistence of the carriage ride offers, like every 2 blocks someone's asking.
Oh yeah, the carriage drivers are definitely persistent, that's for sure. They're part of the city's charm, but a firm no gracias works wonders.
Polite but firm, I like it. And speaking of being polite, the source recommends brushing up on some basic Spanish.
Even a few phrases go a long way. Shows respect and, makes things smoother.
Adding learn Spanish to the to-do list. Now, a little warning from the source. Don't mess with 2 things in Cartagena. The heat, obviously.
And the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
We talked about hydration, but bug spray is crucial too. And maybe some afterbite stuff, just in case.
So be prepared for the elements. Now, this surprised me. The source mentions baseball and dominoes as Colombian sports.
More than just games, it's like part of the culture. You'll see locals playing everywhere. A good way to experience the city's vibe.
I'm intrigued. Definitely going to check out those dominoes games. All right, safety talk. Our source says Cartagena is pretty safe, especially compared to some other places, but still, gotta be smart.
Especially at night. Stick to well-lit areas. Don't be flashy with valuables, that kind of thing.
And if we're unsure about an area,
Ask locals. Hotel staff are usually a good source. They'll know what areas to avoid, especially after dark.
all right, good advice. Now, a reality check for our wallets. The source says Cartagena is actually the most expensive city in Colombia.
Yep, that's right. Hotels, food, activities, all pricier than other places. So factor that into your budget.
Don't be surprised by the price tag. But hey, those seafood dinners are calling my name. All right, gotta wrap up part 1 here, but we'll be back with more Cartagena deep dive insights. Welcome back to our Cartagena adventure. More insider tips coming your way.
Yeah, this next one's about hitting the ground running, like right when you get there.
Okay, so I'm off the plane, luggage in hand. What's first?
Our source says book your hotel ASAP, especially if it's busy season. You don't want to end up with no options or crazy prices.
Makes sense. Hotel booked. Now we explore.
Exactly. And as you're wandering around, get ready for this tip, they say, don't forget to look up.
Uh, what do they mean?
The architecture. All those colonial buildings, churches, balconies with flowers. It's easy to miss if you're just focused on street level.
Oh, right. Like, slow down, appreciate the details, all that.
Yep. And speaking of appreciating things, let's talk transportation. They're very against driving in Cartagena, especially in the walled city.
Yeah, those narrow streets, I can imagine.
Plus, you want to be on foot to really experience it. Taxis are fine for longer distances, but walking is key.
So, comfy shoes are a must. The source even recommends packing an ankle brace.
It sounds extreme, but those cobblestones can be uneven. Better safe than sorry, right?
Definitely. And since we're on the topic of cobblestones, remember those carriage drivers? Persistent, right?
Oh yeah, they're part of the experience for sure. It's cool to support local businesses, but a firm, no gracias, if you're not interested.
Finding that balance, respecting customs, but also, knowing what you want. Speaking of customs, the source mentions those photos with the fruit ladies.
Ah, yes, iconic.
Uh-huh.
But remember, posing for a photo is a service, so offering a small tip is the way to go.
Good to have some small bills on hand then. Now this sounds fun. The Chiva Rumbera.
The party buses. They're colorful, loud, drive all around. Definitely a lively way to see the nightlife.
Sounds like a blast. The source kind of hints it's a touristy thing, though?
It is, but still fun. Depends what you're looking for, I guess. Some people love that high-energy vibe.
Fair enough. Back to practicalities, the source is big on safety, especially at night.
Yeah, common sense stuff. Stick to well-lit areas. Don't walk alone if you could avoid it. Be aware of your surroundings.
And if we're unsure about an area,
ask locals. Hotel staff usually know what's what. They'll tell you which areas to avoid after dark.
Got it. Stay aware. Ask for advice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one's kind of quirky. Toilet paper etiquette.
Ah, yes, this can be surprising. Don't flush toilet paper down the toilet in Cartagena.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Yep. The plumbing system can't handle it, so it goes in the bin next to the toilet.
Wow. Never would have guessed that. Local customs. Gotta love them.
Definitely. Always good to be respectful. Now, money matters. They say avoid exchanging money on the street.
Seems risky, yeah.
ATMs or official places are way safer. They even suggest using the airport ATM when you arrive to get some local currency.
Good tip. Especially since we know Cartagena can be pricey.
Right. And if you're the adventurous type who likes exploring on their own, here's another one. When asking for directions, use street names, not numbered addresses.
Makes sense. Locals probably know the streets better than specific house numbers.
Exactly. And speaking of landmarks, they say the city walls are a must-see.
The ones around the old town, right?
Yep. Amazing views of the city and the sea. Explore the walls themselves and the neighborhoods inside.
And the San Felipe Fortress, I think they mentioned that too.
Yes. Historical and super interesting. Just a heads up, it's a bit of a climb to the top.
Comfy shoes, check. Maybe not the best choice if you have knee problems.
Good point. But if you can manage it, the view from the top is supposed to be incredible.
Climb the fortress, added to the list. So, what other cultural experiences do they recommend? Back for more Cartagena. I like how this source isn't just about the practical stuff, it's about the feel of the place,
Yeah, like connecting with the people. That's huge for them.
So not just sightseeing, but actually, talking to locals.
Exactly. They even say engage with the street vendors, even if you're not buying anything.
I can see how that might be awkward, especially if it's crowded.
It can be, but think of it this way. They're just working, trying to make a living. A little hola, no gracias, it goes a long way.
And who knows, you might end up having a great chat and learning something new.
Exactly. People in Cartagena are known for being friendly, so don't be shy.
Chat with locals, adding it to the list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what about venturing outside the city?
Day trips, the Rosario Islands for sure. Those beaches are incredible.
We talked about them before, right? Strong currents, gotta be careful.
Right, safety first. They also suggest Palenque, a historic town founded by escaped slaves. Really fascinating history there.
And for more of that coastal vibe, they recommend Barranquilla, famous for its carnival and its fishing traditions.
A different side of Colombia, definitely worth checking out.
So many options. I need more than a week, I think.
That's what everyone says. Back to the city, though, a couple of things to watch out for. Flooding during the rainy season.
Flooding. Seriously.
Yeah, it can get pretty bad, especially in the old town. They even compare it to Venice, like streets turning into canals.
Okay, good to know. Waterproof shoes? Check. What about tours? Any advice there?
Book through reputable places, either your hotel or a well-known tour operator, especially if you're going outside the city.
Safer that way, for sure. Now, this might surprise some people. The source really emphasizes that Cartagena is not cheap.
No, definitely not. Most expensive city in Colombia, so budget accordingly.
Right. No sticker shock. All right, got to reiterate a couple of those don'ts. Number one, and I can't believe we have to say this again, no flushing toilet paper.
Easy to forget when you're not used to it. Toilet paper goes in the bin. Remember that?
Got it. And another one, this is important. Stay away from drugs.
Big no-no. Illegal. And the consequences are serious. Not worth the risk.
Stick to the amazing food and the culture. That's more than enough. Speaking of which, a couple more cultural tidbits from the source. Get this. Baseball is huge in Colombia.
Yeah, who knew?
Ah.
They say going to a game is a great way to experience the local culture.
I never would have thought of that. What else?
Dominoes. Not just a game, like practically a national sport. People get super into it.
I love that. It's those little details that make a place special.
Absolutely. And finally, they have this great piece of advice. Embrace the rhythm of Cartagena.
What do they mean by that?
Things move a little slower there, you know?
Uh-huh.
Don't be in a rush. Relax, enjoy the vibe.
That Caribbean chill?
Mm.
I like it. Well, there you have it. We've explored the ins and outs of Cartagena thanks to our seasoned traveler source.
We've learned what not to expect, from beaches to bathrooms, and uncovered some hidden gems along the way.
So now that you know what to expect, or rather what not to expect, what are you most excited to discover in Cartagena? What unique experiences are you hoping to find?
Keep those questions in mind as you plan your trip.
And most importantly, have an amazing time.